Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. It's Saturday, the 23rd of October. My name is Janine McGowan and I design cross stitch under the name The Blue Flower. Here we're going to talk about cross stitch and animals and whatever else comes to mind, possibly a cat if he roams through. So off we go. Now I do actually have lots to cover today, so we might make a full 20 minutes. I don't know. Buckle up. We'll see how far we get. All right, first off, stitching in action. I have several submissions this week. First, Victoria N. She did Autumn Squirrel on 16 count Olympia Ada from Mystic Fabrics, and she used the overdyed cotton conversion from Acorns and Threads. So if anybody doesn't want to do the silks and is looking for an overdyed variation, Acorns and Threads does have that. Second, she did Halloween Acorns on 30 count Victoria Sponge Cake from Access Commodities. And I love this color. I get a little frustrated with Access Commodities because they don't make every color in the multiple counts. It tends to be, this is the one. So if you wanted to do Victoria Sponge Cake, as I understand it, you have to do 30 count, which is a bummer because it's a beautiful color. All right, next up, we have submissions from Cheryl. Cheryl did 3 of the seasonal squirrels. The first is Autumn Squirrel, and this is an FFO that she did, and I love the way she changed the colors to be hers, really. And then next up, we've got Spring Squirrel. You can see it even more here, the way she's made everything just so bright and happy. Yeah, I love this. I can't wait to see if she does any of the others, how she changes them. And then finally, we've got Summer Squirrel, and that's even more colorful. I love it. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for sending these through. It looks like all of these are on Ada, but yeah, just great. It makes me want to do them all again in different colors. So, all right, next up, what I'm stitching. I didn't get any personal stitching done this last 2 weeks because I was working on a model, but I am actually going to show the model a little bit later. So, however, as far as what I'm stitching, I have 2 finishes to show. So this first one is Feliz Navidad from Blackbird, and this was on 40 count slate linen from Lakeside. Acorns and Threads did a great job of finishing and framing it up for me. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. All right, it's a little hard to see, but there's some beautiful eyelet details. This eyelet heart, and some of the other ones, they were fun to stitch. They were pretty when I was stitching them, and then seeing them all framed up is just, oh, I love it. I love it. So thank you again, Amanda, for inspiring the Blackbird Blackbird Christmas Sal. I don't know if that's exactly what it was called, but that's what inspired me to get this one out and actually get it stitched and done. So I'm very excited to have that up on the wall. Okay, next FFO. This is Pandemic. This is from Sarcygurl, and this was done on 40 count xJudesigns linen. And here we go. I love this. I love the way it came out. I love everything about it, honestly. And I made quite a few changes to this one, not just the colors, but I changed it to reflect myself and a good friend that I met during pandemic. So I wanted to make it a positive association. So here's me with my green, of course. We've got our cat Porter, our dog Dunkel, Pilsner up there, Rye up top, and then here's my friend Rena and her cat Lucy on top of her house. And yeah, this has just been a really delightful stitch. I love doing it. I love seeing it. I can't wait to have it on my wall again. So yay, those just came yesterday, so very good timing for those. I just have to keep them safe from Pilsner for the rest of the Flosstube. All right, hopefully I've done a good job editing, but Pilsner came in and decided to ruckus a little bit, so we had a little break in filming, and now we're back talking about specialty threads because over the last couple weeks, have been using a lot of specialty threads and tried a lot of new ones. I wanted to share with you some of my experience. The first one that I used that I really loved is this DMC Metallic Diamant. And it was great. I have to thank Lucy at the Farmer's Attic for getting me a bunch of these very quickly when I decided at the last minute that I wanted to try these. And so you'll see them in one of the models that's coming up. But this was actually great. It's a little bit stiffer than a normal cotton floss. and certainly stiffer than silk. But I was using it without breaking out the strands at all, and I was using it on 40 count, and it was great. It's a little bit more vertical, stands up a little bit more, which I think just makes it sparkle. But I think 40 count might be about the limit of what you'd want to use it on. So, you know, maybe even try 36 or a little bit lower. But it was overall quite easy to use, you know, just a little shorter length. Go a little more slowly with pulling the thread through, and it was really fun, and I loved the results. So thank you, Lucy, for sending those. The other thing I did is I went to, and this is my stash spotlight, I went to Stitch in Time here in Reno, and she's very, very nice, always very nice. It was actually my first time to be in the shop here since before COVID, so that was a real treat. And she has a ton of specialty threads. So I ended up getting these two, Treasure Braid and Silk Braid, or Silk Lame Braid. I didn't end up using either of these because I wanted to try the metallic, but I'd be curious to see what anyone thinks of them, and I'll try and make some time to use them soon and see how they go. The other thing I got was a number of these wool threads from Italy, and I have not stitched with wool before. I have a little bit of Gentle Art wool, but she had these that worked really well, again, on 40 count, and they were a lot of fun to stitch with. 40 count, once again, is probably the limit of how high you'd want to go with your thread count to use these, but they were great, and certainly on 32 or 36 they'd be pretty much a dawdle. Again, a little bit shorter threads, just go a little more slowly, and it was lots of fun. So thank you, Stitch in Time. All right, the world around. This week my world around is an ermine, for reasons which will become clear later. I think they're just wonderful. It's a small mammal, lives pretty much everywhere around the globe in the northern hemisphere. In the winter, now when it gets cooler, so while the leaves are dropping their green and becoming beautiful red and orange and yellow colors, the ermine are dropping their brown and turning to beautiful white with a black tip at the end of the tail, which scientists think is to sort of confuse predators so that they would go for the tail tip, which stands out against the snow, rather than going for the ermine, and it would get a chance to escape. Now, they're very versatile. They live in a variety of habitats, from low grasslands and forests all the way up to the top of the Sierra Nevadas year-round. So lovely. They were used a lot in traditional European art as a symbol of purity because of the white color of their fur. So I put in a little portrait of Queen Elizabeth here. I love that they gave the ermine black spots, because that's the way that in heraldry, I understand, an ermine was generally symbolized by a white with little black dashes on it. And so they gave the ermine the little black dashes, even though it only has a black tail. Art, you can do what you want. Okay. They have excellent vision and sight. They can hunt animals twice as large as themselves because they're quite small. And they can easily run across the top of the snow. So let's hear it for the ermine. All right, questions for you this week. Last week was insects. How do you feel about insects? Got a lot of really fun comments on those, and I have to say a lot of us are on the same page that insects can be amazing and wonderful, and I prefer that they not be in my house. And there are some that I struggle to really appreciate, like mosquitoes and wasps. All right, so the question this time is, what are your favorite threads to use? I've really enjoyed trying some specialty threads, but I also have, I don't know if I could pick a favorite. Do I like regular cotton thread? It's reliable, it's wonderful, it's easy. I love the new metallics because they're so sparkly and fun. Yeah, I'd like to hear from you. What's your favorite thread? Favorite brand, favorite thread material, whatever you like, just let me know. All right, best thing this week. I have new releases coming up, and it's a little bit early, but the emails should go out to shops this weekend, so I'm going to go ahead and show them all. Now, the first one is not brand new. This was released as a specialty item for Crazy Annie Stitching last year, but now it's in general release, and this is the Cozy Christmas Cat. Let's see if we can get up close here. And this was sort of the start of the idea of holiday cards with animals. So there's the cat, a little snowman sweater on that one. Cute little trim. All of these are getting photographed this morning, so they're all out right here, which is why I couldn't resist showing them. Next one up is Winter Blooms, and this was done for Black Needle Society again last year. Here we go. Lady Dot did beautiful bittersweet velveteen for this and edging. And when I took the picture, I had some little bittersweet, dried bittersweet around the outside. Just a fun little Christmas stitch with some nice winter blooms. All right, now on to the new ones. And here you can see why we were talking about ermines, because I did another in my head, I'm calling it the Tudor Menagerie. Here we go. Here is Tudor Ermine. Yeah, nice ermine. We've got a little winter border here with all sorts of pine cones and berries and all sorts of fun stuff. Oliver stitched this up for me, working over at Fire Poppies, did a great job. We've got an ermine, a little crown, and I wanted to try a fun little edging on this one. I wanted to braid 3 strands of chenille, two whites and a dark, but the one that I got to try it with was black, and it ended up looking a little bit too stark. I should have tried a dark brown, but at that point I was needing to get it done, so I went ahead and just trimmed it with this to match the lovely Lady Dot velveteen. We got a little schmutz on the back here. But I'd love to see if someone does want to try with the braided edging to give that effect of ermine fur that's mostly white with a little slash of dark now and then. Yeah, give it a go. I'd love to see it. Let me know. All right, then the next one, or the last one, this is another new release. This is the Holiday Card 2021. I did a holiday card last year, and here we go again with a holiday card. It's a little bit floppy because I like to fill them with lavender. And let's see, I think this might be the way to hold it up so you can really get a good look. We've got an alpaca there and a tree. Got a border that looks like vintage style Christmas lights and this little twill tape. I love that color, sort of a faint purple, and it is hard to get it to show here, but twill tape bow on that. Got a nice Osnaburg, I think this is called Grape Jelly from Lois, and the Grape Jelly twill, and then a little chenille finish. So here's the big version. Got the holiday sweater and the scarf. Little, we used to call them, I don't know if it's right, but mucklucks when I was a kid. So got little mucklucks on the feet. But anyway, that's the big version. The chart will also include a smaller version that doesn't have the tree and just has the alpaca. And here's where I went to town with the specialty threads. So I'm going to try and get a really good look here. Around the outside, I did the lights in 3 colors of that DMC Diamant. You can see that, how sparkly it is. And then I did wool for the sweater and the mucklucks and this little scarf here, and it was so much fun. It really was. It's a little bit hard to tell here. I'll try and get better pictures when I post them on the website, but you can really see in person the variation in the texture between the cotton thread and the wool, and then I just couldn't be happier with the sparkly edges here. So those are all new releases, and they're getting their glamour shots today, now that it's light enough. This is the one time of year we actually have to wait for the light before I can film or take photos, but I will do my best to get it done quickly. Now, on to giveaway. Last week, we had these 2 lovely pieces of xJudesigns fabric, Elixir and Witches Brew. I'd use the word brew in the comments for those to be the winner. And I got lots of wonderful brew comments, beer, coffee, tea, chai, which I love. Lots of fun stuff. So the winner is Mary Peterson. Congratulations, Mary. Let me know your address either in the comments or send me an email, and I will get these headed out to you. And then I'd love to see what you stitch on them, because they're really interesting fabrics and I think they'd be a lot of fun to use. All right, giveaway of this week. Since I have 4 new releases, well, 2 new and 2 for the first time generally released, I'm going to pick 4 winners next Flosstube, and you'll be able to choose any one of my designs, the new ones, the old ones, whatever you want. So use the word sparkle in your comments in honor of these beautiful metallic threads, and tell me something that sparkles, you, the snow, whatever you've got. I'll take all your sparkles, because we need a little sparkle in our lives. So put that in the comments, let me know, and I will draw 4 of those names next week. I don't have any other announcements. As I said, I've got new releases. These are going to start shipping out to shops the mid-November, so shops will get an email starting this weekend with all the details, and then as it gets closer to the actual release date, I'll send an email to the website followers and subscribers just with some more photos and a little bit more about those, links to the website so they can see the full detail on those as well. Also, when I put the new releases up on the website, a reminder, they will show as out of stock because I only sell the hard copies for the first couple months, but then I will be at the same time putting the previous releases, so Moonlight and everything from the Fall Expo, will go up as PDFs. So anyone who's been waiting for PDFs, those will be coming in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. I hope you have a lovely weekend with whatever you have planned, and happy stitching.